Good day, everyone. Let me use this opportunity to welcome us all into today's class session. Hi, I'm Mr. Oyediro Joshua by name, and I will be our resource person who will be taking us through this course PIO 201 titled Introductory Physiology and Blood. It is always good, by the way of introduction, that we know or we have an overview of the course or the class session we are about to have. So this class session is going to be divided into 13 weeks of teaching. It is going to be done through online module teaching like this, and I want us to just pay attention whenever we are having this class and be here on time. So I also want to advise us to regularly check our Moodle profile and our portal to get information if there is any need be. So, without any further ado, let's delve into today's class session. Okay, before we move on, let me just say this. Today's class is just going to be an introductory class, which is going to be taking us through the course content, the learning outcomes, and if time permits us, talk about some of the course contents and to just prepare and get ourselves familiarized with what we are expecting. We are expected to learn in this class. So let's dive into today's class session. So these are the course contents in which we have the introduction and history of physiology, structure and functions of cell membranes, transport process, special transport mechanism in amphibia, bladder, kidney, gallbladder, intestine, astrocytes and exocrine glands, biophysical principles, homeostasis and control systems, including temperature regulation, biological rhythms, composition and function of blood, hemopausis, WBC, WBC and differential counts, plasma proteins, coagulation, fibrolysis, and platelet functions, blood groups, which include the ABO system, RA system, blood transfusion, indication for collection and storage of blood outside of blood transfusions, reticuloendothelial system, immunity and immunodeficiencies, including the HIV. So, in the course content, we are expected, and at the end of this class, to be able to describe the structure of cell membranes, understand the membrane potentials and their effect on ion distribution, explain the transport processes involving specific membrane proteins, differentiate between types of transports, such as active, passive, and facilitated diversion, understand selective transport mechanism for amino acid neurotransmitters, uh, etc. Discuss homeostasis and feedback systems in physiology, identify erythropoietin production and its role in red blood cell formation, explain red blood cell balance and the conditions leading to anemia or polycythemia, list and differentiate types of leukocytes and their functions, describe the role of thrombocytes in homeostasis, discuss the clotting factors and mechanism of anticoagulation. So let's briefly look at the introduction and history of physiology. So before that, let me just quickly take us through the definition of physiology. What is physiology itself? So physiology is just the study of the mechanical, physical, and biochemical functions of living organisms. So, in a summary, or to summarize this, we can say physiology is just the study of functions of a living organism, that is different part of our body. Or let me just put it this way for us to understand more. It's just like the study of the cells, how the cells, the tissues, and different organs in our body functions and relate together. It's not only human being or just in any living organisms. So while looking at the historical overview of physiology, we have a man called Galen, which is considered, or who is considered rather, the father of physiology. He has done a lot of work. Is the first person to even work on physiology in the field of physiology. So his work has remained influential not until the emergence of other scientists like the Rido Colombo, a person like Amato Lusitano, a person like William Harvey, and also a person like Michael Salvatos. So we have a lot of uh, scientists or people like that, a great people that have done a lot of work in physiology, that have provided a lot of knowledge for us, that's bridged many gaps for us to understand different functions of cells, tissues, and organs in our body. So there is also a man called the Claude Bernard, which is considered the father of physiology of father of the modern physiology. So uh, let us move to the structure and function of cell membrane. So, a membrane or a cell membrane consists of phospholipid bilayer and proteins and cholesterol. So, the phospholipid bilayer is just the primary structural component with hydrophilic ends and hydrophobic tails, why the proteins is the we have integral proteins such as the channels, the receptors, and peripheral proteins for signaling and structural support. Also have the cholesterol, which helps to maintain the membrane fluidity, especially in very temperatures. So let's quickly look at the function of cell membranes. So cell membranes help us to do a lot of things, which includes it helps to serve as a barrier, transport, cell signaling, and cell adhesion. While serving as a barrier, it helps to protect the cell from its external environment. While it also helps to regulate while transporting the movement of substances in and out of the cells. So cell membrane also help to detect I mean, membrane receptors help to detect external signals and initiate cellular responses. So, before I proceed, please, if you have any question during the course of this class, please do well to drop it at the comment section or at the text box, and every question will be attended to at the end of this class. So, let me quickly take us through the transport mechanisms too. So, you see all these organs, it helps to transport uh, okay, let me just say it this way so we understand. Transport in organs like the kidney, gallbladder, and intestines involve specialized mechanisms. For example, the kidney rely on transport proteins to filter waste and retain nutrients. You see, these complex systems allow for precise regulation of fluids and electrocytes in the body. So, in the course of this special transport mechanism, the amphibian bladder, particularly, but and that's the same function the bladder does. So the bladder helps to transport water and electrolyte, which is controlled by hormones like vasopressin, while the kidney, sodium and water reabsorption, it helps to absorb and it helps to reabsorb sodium and water and tightly regulated to maintain fluid balance. So you have the intestine, right? The gallbladder secretion of bile into intestine for fat digestion. So we have the what we call the intestine, which is usually help to absorb nutrients via specific transport mechanisms. We have associated which regulates iron concentration in the brain to protect neurons. We also have exocrine glands, which are to secrete enzymes and other substances via ducts in to aid in digestion and other processes. So also let's look at the biophysical principles. So in the overview of all these results, biophysical principles explain how physical forces affect biological systems. Let's also look at the composition and function of blood. Now, blood is composed of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So, its main function include transporting oxygen, nutrients, removing waste, regulating body temperature, and protecting the body through the immune response. So blood also plays a critical role in maintaining homeostasis, that is uh, internal temperature of the internal the balance of the internal environment in our body. So these are the function of blood. As I said earlier, it's in transporting oxygen, immune function, also in blood clotting. So let me also take us through how the blood cell is being formed. So this is just going to be an overview too. So homeostasis is the process of blood cell formation which takes place in the bone marrow. It produces red and white blood cells and platelets. ensuring the body has a constant supply of these vital cells. So this process is regulated by factors like erythropoietin, which stimulate what? Which stimulate the red blood cell production, especially in response to what? To low oxygen levels. Now, let me just take us through what through the white blood cells and differential counts, and these are going to, don't worry, these are going to be taught in detail. You are going to enjoy this, trust me. So it's going to be a very interesting class and a very interactive one. So we have different type of, so okay, let me just say this. White blood cells also known as what? Leukocytes. And we have the types of leukocytes, which include neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. So, and simply differential count is just to measure the percentage of each type of what? White blood cells in the providing clues to underlying diseases. So let me just take us through the plasma proteins and their functions too. So plasma proteins such as albumin and globulins and fibrinogen, they perform critical function like maintaining the blood pressure and immunities. So, and platinites on the other hand are key players in what? In homeostasis. And the presence of blood clotting, platinate aggregates at site of vessel injury, forming a temporary plug to what? To prevent excessive bleeding. So without wasting our time, let's also looking at the coagulation, fibrosis, and platinate function. As I said, I think I just said this. So we also have blood groups and transfusions. So blood groups are classified primarily by the ABO systems and RH system, and these classifications are essential for safe blood transfusions. So um, mismatches between donor and recipient blood can lead to what? To serious reactions if not careful. So we also cover the hazard associated with transfusions and the protocols for safely collecting, storing, and administering blood. Um, so let's look at the reticuloendothelial system, immunity, and HIV. So the immune system process, the immune system protect the body against pathogens through mechanism like the innate and adaptive immune responses. Don't worry, we're still going to talk about this in detailed in the next class. So in conclusion, today we've explored fundamentals of physiology, particularly focusing on cell membranes, transport processes, and the various components and functions of blood, right? Um, this concept provides a crucial foundation for understanding how the body maintains balance and responds to challenges. So as we move forward, we will delve deeper into these processes to better understand how they relate to overall health and disease. So thank you for staying with me to the end of the class. If you have any question, as I said earlier, it will be addressed at the end of the class. So and the resource for this material, the material for this, the source material for this class is going to be dropped, it's going to be shared. So I want us to go through it and read over and over again before the next class. And also, I also want us to go through this video again. If you don't understand anything, just go through it. And during the next class, I will be ready for you. Come and bombard me with different questions. I will be ready. I'll be so happy to answer you. Thank you very much and have a nice day ahead. See you next class.